Hey everybody, Chad HD here, host of the Chad HD Show. Hope you're having a great day. Remember, you can tune in to the Chad HD Show weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 on News Talk 790 KFYO. We also stream online, like every other radio show in the country, at KFYO.com. You can find us, and you can follow me on Twitter, Chad HD Radio. And don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel right below. Just subscribe to KFYO on YouTube. You'll see all of our interviews on there, all the interviews that we've had with candidates, including candidates running for Texas 19, HD 84, and also when we had Ted Cruz on just a couple of months ago. So you can check that out here on the KFYO YouTube page. A lot to get into today. We've got more candidates coming through the studio, of course, as we are just days really away from early voting starting here in the state of Texas. We will visit with, in studio, or I'm sorry, by the phone, we will visit with Colonel Michael Bob Starr. He's on with us at 9 o'clock. He's running for Texas 19, trying to replace Congressman Randy Naugabauer. He'll join me at 9 o'clock. And then at 10 o'clock, we shift gears. We look at the race for HD 84, the challenger in that race. Jim Landtroop will be my guest. He'll discuss his campaign and the battle of conservatism right there in HD 84. So we'll talk about that with Jim Landtroop coming up at 10 o'clock this morning. Other things that we'll get into, we'll talk about a Ted Cruz ad that came out recently. It's up on YouTube, so you can check that out. Just kind of look for that here on YouTube. But a new ad that he released, really going after Donald Trump, but not really Ted Cruz going after Donald Trump. Instead, Jimmy Carter, former President Jimmy Carter, who is not loved at all by Republicans and not at all loved by conservatives. He was former President Jimmy Carter was overseas. He was talking about Donald Trump and Ted Cruz. He was talking about the presidential election, and he gave a endorsement to Donald Trump. He said that Donald Trump he would actually like to see Donald Trump elected over Ted Cruz, not necessarily elected, period. I think he'd rather have Hillary or Bernie Sanders, of course, but he'd rather have Donald Trump than Ted Cruz. And the reason he gave, well, because Donald Trump doesn't have any firm positions, and people can work with them. As far as Democrats, they can kind of shift them on a few things. That Ted Cruz guy, according to Jimmy Carter, that Ted Cruz guy, he's too far to the right. He's set in his ways. There's no way he's going to change. You know, like every other Democrat who has been president, including Jimmy Carter. But also, let's look at, I don't know, what's his name? President Barack Obama. President Obama really hasn't shifted to the right at all during his presidency. He has not worked with Republicans. It's all been about Barack Obama and the Democrats. It's been the Republicans who have actually given in on so many issues. And that's why, by the way, so many Republicans are sick and tired of the Republican Party, and that's why some of them are looking at Donald Trump. So it's funny that Jimmy Carter would be overseas and think that this would actually, I don't know if he actually thought it would hurt Ted Cruz or give a boost to Donald Trump. I really don't know any Republican that hears that from Jimmy Carter and goes, oh, well, if Jimmy Carter thinks that Donald Trump will be easier to work with, then we just have to vote for Donald Trump. I've not heard that from anybody out there. So nice little point there for Ted Cruz and the Ted Cruz campaign. Marco Rubio also out with an excellent ad yesterday, taking the words of Rush Limbaugh, calling Marco Rubio a full-throated conservative. There have been attacks on Marco Rubio, saying that he's establishment, that he's not a conservative at all. He's an establishment moderate Republican. Come on. Some people are allowed to say that, I guess. But if you're a supporter of Donald Trump and you're calling Marco Rubio a rhino, give me a break on that one. Maybe only the Ted Cruz supporters can call Marco Rubio a rhino in this whole race. But we'll get into that. And then also President Obama yesterday, the White House announcing that President Obama has a plan to tax oil. He wants to slap a $10 per barrel of oil tax on the oil companies out there. Yeah, that'll go great. That's really going to hurt the oil companies out there. There's no way at all they're not going to pass that cost down to the consumer. Give me a break. This is going nowhere in Congress. Of course, Republicans are not going to approve of this. This is absolutely dead in the water. It's just not going to happen. $10 tax per barrel of oil. Come on, give me a break. But that's President Obama for you. He's really going after those evil oil companies in the United States. Tune in to the Chad HD Show weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 on News Talk 790 KFYO in Lubbock. You can listen online, KFYO.com. And don't forget, follow me on Twitter, Chad Hasty Radio. And, oh yeah, subscribe below, KFYO on YouTube. Have a great weekend. And as far as the Super Bowl goes, I'm going to pick Carolina, the Carolina Panthers over the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl. Really, I just hope it's a great game. I like both Carolina and Denver. I just hope it's a really good game and, some good food, good snacks, and really good beer as well. Have a great weekend, folks.